are now recording. Thank you so much. All right, so this module, as I shared with you, is going to be on communication. I request you all to not scribble on the screen, and please be decent students so that you can gain maximum out of this workshop, out of this webinar, and you are participating. So as we begin, okay. So people, let's focus. Let's ensure that our mic is off. Okay, so my point here is that while we are talking about communication skills, so communication skills is basically, more about not just about how we talk to people. Okay, it's not just about how we talk to people. Communication is also about how we are perceived by people. Okay, so there are a lot of hand raises. So I would suggest all of you can quickly type in the chat window if you have any questions, because this will take a lot of our time. If there is anything that you want to tell me, I would appreciate if you could use the chat window, and I'll quickly check as to, what is it that you want to tell me, right? Okay, so now the point that I'm mentioning here is that I look forward to ensuring that this session is not just a module, it's more about how we learn, implement, and become an effective communicator. How not only we speak effectively, how do we listen well so that we can speak effectively, right? So a lot more to go in this, a lot more to go in this. The first thing, let us understand that if I am talking about this topic, okay, when I talk about, say, communication, so a lot of us have already known about what communication means, what actually are the challenges that we face in communication. So it is nothing new to us, okay. Communication itself is a kind of a skill which we all actually participate right from, very early age, from infancy, right? Even if you look back, a little child who doesn't even know how to speak does communicate, right? And be it at this level wherein,
Ma'am, your voice is very low.
right. So see, I cannot do much about it now. So please put on your hands-free or your headphones so that you are able to hear me well. I'll try to increase my volume. So yeah, so the point here is, once again, I'm going to give some basic instructions so that I don't have to keep repeating myself. Whether this is communication skills masterclass, or whether this is, learning how to align ourselves to the corporates, one important skill that you need to understand is listen to the instructions very carefully. Okay, so listen to my instructions carefully. The first thing is, whatever that I'm going to talk about today, okay, whether you agree, you disagree, whether you follow, you don't follow, since we are a very large audience, I would suggest you use the chat window to put me a message, right? So off and on, I'll keep checking and wait for a little moment with some more patience for me to check the chats and revert to you. Okay, so please have some patience. All right. Secondly, I would really want you to respect this platform. I want you to respect your time, my time, and the organization's time, so that this time that we are all together, we make the maximum out of it. Okay. So trust me, if we take this very lightly, it is going to waste time of a lot of other people, including yours, right? So let's be focused and let's ensure that we make the maximum out of this time period that we are given, because whatever that you already know, but there will definitely be something that is going to help you get better at what you already are. Okay. So with the kind of experience that I have into this industry for the last 18 years, I tell you one thing very clearly, that there is always something that will add on to our learnings, which will help us get better at what we are. right? So coming back to the topic, on communication skills, let me tell you that while we are talking about communication, there is one thing that we all would agree, okay? It is not about what is here, what we think, okay? It is also about how people perceive what we are trying to tell them. So if you look at this picture, okay, you will see that a child, she's trying to explain a farm. But while we are talking about, while we are checking about the rest of them, when the child is trying to talk about a flower, but rest of them perceive it to be something else. So you have the picture very clear in your mind, but do the rest of them follow what you are saying, right? So I'm going to share with you some quick pictures, okay? I want you to look at these pictures and in the chat window, just tell me as to what do you see in this picture, okay? What do you see in this picture? So whatever they perceive that this person is passing through, okay? So what do you see in this picture? So I'm going to quickly share with you a series of some pictures, okay? What do you see that this person is thinking, okay? Quickly type in the chat window. When you look at this picture, what is it that he is experiencing, okay? Fantastic, great. Stressed, breakup, okay. Posing for a photo, is it? Okay, all right, okay. Fantastic, right? Now, let's go to the next picture. Look at this picture. What is the emotion? What do you see here? What is this lady thinking? Anxiety, tensed, shocked, surprised, okay, amazed. Is she amazed? Happily amazed? Are you sure? She's frightened, worried. Okay, okay. Now, I want you to look at the three people in this picture, okay? And I want you to tell me what is the emotion left, okay? What is the emotion of the gentleman sitting on the left? So we are going to go one by one. What do you think is he thinking, the gentleman sitting on the left? Okay, right. Embarrassed. Okay, okay. Okay, right. Fantastic. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So some of us perceive maybe positive, cool and calm. Maybe he's
Ramesh, mute yourself.
maybe he is not getting upset. Okay, he's understanding. He's surprised. He's nervous. Anything. All right. It could be our perception. Now look at the lady standing. Look at the lady standing, who probably is his senior. What is it that you perceive from her body language? What is the emotion that she is passing through? She's angry, she's frustrated, she's shouting. Okay. So shouting is there, but what is the emotion? What is the emotion? Aggression, anger. Okay. Okay. Is she giving suggestions? She's disappointed. Okay, not happy. happy, upset. Okay, fantastic. Okay, she's yelling. Okay, right. Now look at the lady to the rightmost corner, who is indirectly a part of a discussion. She's observing the conversation. So, what do you think? Is she thinking? Is she thinking? What is she thinking? She's shocked. She's jealous, really? Okay. She's jealous that why am I not being scolded for? Or why am I not the boss? Is it? Okay, she's shocked. Agla number mera, wow. So she's wondering, okay, oh God, she should not come to me. Okay, she's surprised. She's scared. Okay. 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 Nervous. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Cool. Great. And she's anxious as well. So, as you see, all these three characters are actually sharing some of the emotions through their body language without even saying anything. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now, look at this. What do you think are these two employees thinking about the speaker? Are they thinking about the speaker? Probably the person could be their senior who's yelling at them, or maybe a colleague who's thinking about the person who's standing. What do you think?
Ma'am, please check your internet.
What the people? Sure. Right. So now look again. Now look again. Okay. What do you think? Okay. What do you think? Are these people who are sitting thinking?
मैम आपकी वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है, प्लीज चेक फॉर योर वॉइस. मैम
भाई ब्रेक नहीं हो रहा, ये साउंड सही है
भाई आपके एंड से
गाइस म्यूट योरसेल्फ.
ब्रेक हो रही है यार.
ब्रेक नहीं हो रही है
मैम वॉइस ब्रेकिंग मैम.
मैम बहुत ज्यादा ब्रेक हो रही है.
गाइस म्यूट योरसेल्फ.
बहुत ब्रेक हो
रही है. वॉइस इज नॉट ब्रेकिंग. वॉइस इज.
All right. So I hope it's a little better now. Is it a little better? Okay.
Yes ma'am.
So, better? Okay, cool. All right. So people, I'm going to be a little louder so that by any chance, if my voice is breaking, still you can follow me. So can you stop scribbling on my screen? I would really appreciate. Amazing. You people are adults and you are going to be interviewed and look at my screen. Wow. Yes, please. Your future interviewer should be here actually, you know, so that they could see whom are they going to actually appoint. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop my share for a moment. Okay. And I request you all to not scribble on the screen. We are all mature people. I mean, this is amazing. I don't believe this. Okay. So coming back our discussion. Yes.
Ma'am, there is a problem in this portal where when you join from here, the voice breaks. Can you join from the Zoom app?
Is it? But that will be difficult because then I would not be able to share the screen. So that's the challenge.
Because
Nisha, can you at least like mute
to...
everyone? Nisha, can you at least mute everyone? You can do that,
right? Ma'am, your voice.
All right. So please bear and try to make the maximum, because it's never going to be just the way we want it. All right. So I'll try my best that you are able to hear me well. Okay. And for those people who may want to switch off, you, you may want to switch off your video so that even if it is at your end, the connectivity issues, then probably you can take care of that as well. So coming back. So we need to really gear up quickly. So coming back to this. So coming back to what we have been discussing, we're talking about those people sitting here, all right? So we just covered about, what they're thinking. Now look at this gentleman. Look at this gentleman. What do you think is the emotion here? What do you think is the emotion here?
Confusing.
Confused, right? So just type in the chat window. Just type in the chat window. I'll appreciate that. Thank you. Super. All right. Okay. Yeah. So he's confused, right? He's confused. And glass slide. What is going on between the two? What do you see? What do you see as the kind of an emotion that is being exchanged here? What is the emotion that is being exchanged here? We're not talking about who's right or wrong, okay? We're talking about what's the emotion? Arguments, yeah, okay. Fighting, it's your fault. Absolutely, there's an ego problem. Super, absolutely, absolutely, right? So, as we look at all of these, okay, all of these pictures, why are we really looking at these pictures? Now, we've observed that in a fraction of a second, when we just look at the picture, we actually are able to gauge the emotion, what's passing through that individual. Some of you even built up stories around them as to maybe, this must have happened, maybe a breakup, maybe, something wrong has happened. So you even built up stories around them in a fraction of a second. So this means that whether you speak or you don't speak, your body language plays the most important role, because that's what is being noticed at the first instance. So the moment people see you, they build up a perception about you. And that is going to be a really lasting impression. So in this series of communication, the first thing that I'm going to touch base on is going to be on your body language and your non-verbal communication. The reason being, that plays as one important element to build or break an impression. So when you're talking about body language is more about how do we express ourselves right from the head to the toe, even when we are not talking, So without using words, spoken words, you actually are able to communicate your thoughts to people. Without even being engaged in the conversation directly, you still involve people to perceive about you. So even when there is an argument happening between two people, the third person who is an observer is also perceiving so many things about you. And we need to be watchful of not only our body language being in the right perception, but also with the people who are around us. Not only with the person with whom we are talking to, but also the audience, the observers around us. They all play an important role. So just keep this in mind. Even today, while we are all here, the way we are perceived by each other is so different, but we are all perceiving about each other. Even if this is an online virtual platform, we are building perceptions with the way we are behaving, right? Now, talking about body language once again, there are various things that we need to keep in mind. So, the first thing, if we are going to try and understand is, while we talk about the facial expressions, look at the thing, is the genuine smile, A or B? Which one is the genuine smile, A or B? You think A? Okay, you think A. Some of you are saying B and some of you are saying A. Okay, all right. Now, look at this carefully, okay? When you smile genuinely, you not only smile with your lips, you smile also with your eyes and your eyebrows and your cheeks. So the right answer is B. Okay. So if you ask me, the genuine smile, the are actually happy, and when we are actually smiling, the entire facial expression changes. But when we actually are just trying to show or fake, it's normally the A, right? Now look at the second picture. Look at A, B, C, and D. Which ones would you say is a good smile? Which one would you select as a good smile? Out of A, B, C, D. Don't look at how beautiful or how pretty or how handsome somebody is looking. Look at the smile element, okay? So is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? Which one do you vote for as the right smile? Okay, cool. Now, tell me, which one would you say is not a genuine smile? Is not a genuine smile. If I ask you, which one is not a genuine smile? B, absolutely. Right? So A, C, and D might still look like a good smile, but B is definitely just a fake smile because we see that the other facial muscles are not being pulled. So why are we really talking about smiles here? See, smile is not just to show your teeth, okay? That, okay, if I'm showing my teeth, I'm really smiling, right? Even if you are not showing your teeth and having a small smile, but your entire facial muscles are pulled, that shows that you are genuinely smiling, right? Now, look at this face. What does this face mean? What does this face mean? What does this face mean? What do you think? Is she thinking? What is the facial expression telling you? Disgusting, annoyed, irritated, confused, annoyed, hating something, right? Correct. Now, certain times when someone is saying something, okay, and you don't follow them, many a times we make these faces. Sorry, what? Right? Now you have to be very careful about this because you might just be confused, but look at how you are being perceived. As you are disgusted, you are irritated, but that may not be the actual scene. The possibility is you're confused, but the moment you show your face like that, it gives the other person an understanding that you are either irritated or you're feeling disgusted. So be careful of the facial expression, right? Now look at this. What does this face mean? If you look carefully at one part of her face, she's just smiling from one side. So if you cover up one part of her face, you say, okay, she's trying to smile. But the side part of her face, the other part, she's not smiling. So this is basically a smirky smile. She's smirking, right? So certain times while we are interacting with people, and imagine that, you are during the interview, you do not fully agree with someone and you are just trying to smile. Okay. Now the moment, thank you for sharing those emoticons, huh? Right? So when you're trying to smile, but there are some thoughts going on, you are not able to smile completely. But because of that, there are people who are making impressions about you that you are not interested, you don't care, whatever, all that you've mentioned. But probably that's not the point, because you're having a lot of thoughts in your mind, but still you're doing that. So be careful even if you are smirking. That is, don't smirk at all, because you are creating a negative impression about you. Clear? Now, look at this gentleman. Which one do you think is the right answer? A, B, C, or D? Which one is the right answer? What is he trying to express? It's weird. Okay. Okay. All right. Really? Does he look just confused? Okay. Okay. Cool. So most of them would say a B. C. Oh my God. So many C's. Thank you. All right. So now look at this. Now look at this carefully. Now this gentleman, though he may be confused, now listen carefully. Certain times when we are confused and we are trying to focus at the listener, what is he trying to say? Look at your eyebrows. What is he trying to say? Right? So when you have that intense look and you're trying to stare at that person with your eyebrows like that, look at what is he perceived as. He's perceived to be angry, to be scared, right? So though he may be confused, but the majority of the people would perceive him to be angry about something. And that's actually the 90% of the people's observation, that he must be angry. That's the reason he's behaving. About how you are expressing even when you are confused, because you might be taken as short-tempered, aggressive, not happy in the conversation. So this look totally should be avoided even when you are confused. Now look at the postures. Okay, so I'm going to quickly tell you about certain postures, about how you should ideally stand. So even whether it is an offline interview, you get into an interview and you are joining an organization, right from the top to the bottom, how you're standing, how confident you look, comes from your posture. Without uttering a word, you are speaking so much volumes about how your attitude will be, what kind of a person you would be. So what is it that we need to take care of? Okay. Now look at the person third in the row. Would you be more happy working with the person who is third, or who is first, second, or fourth? If I term them, number them, okay? if I number them, starting from the left being 1, 2, 3, and 4, who would be the person you think would be the most approachable and most positive person, most comfortable working with? Okay, the 1 and the 2. Okay, most of us think 2, third. Okay, okay, all right. All of us have different answers, right? So, if you ask me, there are no wrong people here. Okay, none of the postures are totally wrong. None of them are totally wrong. But the third, as compared to rest 3, looks aggressive. Now, we do not know whether he's aggressive or not, because the way he's standing with broad feet, there is a perception with a high chin that, he might be aggressive. But ideally, none of these postures are wrong. So what is an ideal posture? So the ideal posture is your torso, your entire posture should be erect. Don't slouch while you're talking to people, neither while sitting nor while standing. Stand erect while you're talking. Use your hands comfortably. You are appearing for the interview. Even whether you are nervous or not, you have to tell yourself no closed postures. Don't block yourself, right? Keep both your feet on the ground and both your arms open. And try to use both your hands while you are connecting and talking to people. Clear? So basically, as you look here, you would see your shoulders, okay, should not be too high, lifted up, should be down and back, chest out. Look at your chin, your entire body, your forehead, everything. It should be aimed, look straight. Don't look down, okay? Don't look sideways and then talk to people. Right? Your arms and your torso should not stick too much. Should not stick too much while you are talking, especially like the lady in the 4th picture. Okay? And ensure that your hands are visible. Don't keep them behind your back. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Don't do that. Okay. So that's about your posture. Now, the reason I'm talking about all of these, okay, that is what am I trying to tell you? So the point here is, I'm trying to touch base some quick tips on your body language. So as I shared that when people look at us, they build up so many perceptions about us. So we have to be careful about how we are perceived by others. Now, what are the important elements that we just discussed? That the smile should not be a fake one. Okay. Do not give negative expressions on your face. Even when you are confused, you are nervous, you are anxious, you're worried, still, the moment you have a negative expression, though you are confused, you do not mean to tell them that, okay, I'm upset with you or I'm irritated. Oh, I didn't mean that. I was just confused. But that's how people perceive you to be. So you have to be very cautious about having a positive face, even when you are confused. So when you are confused, ask questions. So if you feel that, okay, you didn't get the point, you did not get the question. What's sir? I didn't understand that. What? Don't do that. Look at your eyebrows, look at your forehead. Relax, smile and say, I'm sorry, I didn't follow what you said. Can you please repeat that? If you are relaxed, the interviewer will be relaxed. You're too confused. Oh my God, what is he trying to tell me? You're so nervous and you're so anxious and you're so worried whether I'll click the interview or not. And what are the kind of questions he's asking me? Oh my God, I don't know this. The moment you have all that written here, you will be perceived wrongly. Here, right? So that's about the positive facial expression, the negative facial expression, which we need to avoid. Also, your entire posture is so important. So be careful that you are not slouching too much with your mobile phones in your hand. And then let's understand, are there some quick learnings for us? Are there some quick learnings for us in context to how an ideal body language should look like? Okay, so I'm going to share with you an interesting principle, which is called as the Lone principle. Now look at this Lone principle. Lone, that is L-O-N-E, wherein L stands for lean forward. So while you are talking to your interviewer or anybody for the per se, when you are trying to show them that you are interested, don't lean back, lean forward. Okay, so, okay, I see, right? So you lean a bit forward. So for all these participants, you must try this, in your comfort zone. Try leaning behind. If you slouch back on your chairs, and then try to listen to someone, your attention drops, okay? Your attention completely drops. So be careful. While you are listening, lean a bit forward and then listen, okay? O stands for open posture. What do I mean by an open posture? So as we discussed, open posture is not too much closed. So don't close your arms, your legs, right? Keep an posture. Keep your hands open and try to use them while you are talking. That's an open posture. N stands for nod. When the other person is speaking, don't just have a blank face, because there are so many questions. Oh my God, what will I reply if he asks me that? What if I don't know the next question? Am I right? Am I going to really answer well? Will I get the job? What is he thinking about me? So the moment you are lost in your thoughts, you have to be able to control them and not bring them out in your body language. Learn to control them. So nodding tells the other person that you are following him or her. So while the person is saying something, nod your head. Don't be too fast, right? And don't be too often, right? That is also not right. So comfortable nodding. While he is making statements, nod your head. And along with nodding, occasionally you can use words like, right, I see, sure, okay, I understand. You don't have to use these words with every end of a sentence, okay? This has to come very naturally and very genuinely. So don't say that, oh, our ma'am told us that, you have to say that I'm nodding and I'm saying, okay, yes, right. Don't do that, okay? It has to come out very genuinely and occasionally, correct? So that's about nod. And the last is eye contact. Very, very important element in body language. Eye contact shows belief in the other person, shows the value that you give to the other person. So when you do not have an eye contact, the other person does not feel valued. Even you are worried, you are nervous, you are anxious. That's the reason you are unable to have an eye contact, but you are perceived wrongly. So ensure that you are able to look into the eyes of that person. If it is an offline interview and you have multiple people interviewing you, don't just look at one person throughout. So even if one gentleman has asked you a question, you would want to keep looking at him, but you must ensure to look at the rest of them as well. Even if that question was not asked by them, you have to occasionally look at everyone in the interview, not just the person who asked you. Clear? Now, if it is a Zoom call, you would say that how do I have eye contact in a Zoom call, right? So if you genuinely try to look at people at the various windows, you will see that your eyes do rotate, and people do observe that you are actually trying to create an eye contact. So off and on, look at the other people, conversation as well, right? So these are the 4 things that you have to keep in mind, especially when you are listening to them. So this body language must be taken care of while you are listening. Clear? Right? So the number of messages I hope. Yeah, the recording is available. That's right. Yeah, so I've covered the online interview. How often do we have to make eye contact while listening? So eye contact has to be throughout, dear. It has to be throughout. So when you are not having an eye contact, what is the alternate place that you would see? Where else would you see? So people who are nervous, they would look up on the ceiling when they're actually trying to recall an answer. Actually, sir, or they look down or on the sideways, or whosoever walks into the cabin, every time a door opens, we have a tendency to look at all the distractions. Who came in, who's standing, who's gone, who brought the file, who's doing what. Don't do that. That shows how quickly you get distracted. So to answer your question, your eye contact has to be throughout with the person in the interview, throughout, right? And not getting distracted, not looking at anyone else, whosoever walks in, unless and until it's a very longer duration. You are answering and you're looking at someone. He's talking to you and you're looking at someone. It devalues them. So when a person is saying something, look at him. That shows respect. Okay. Is there any other question I have missed? How to react when we do not? I will cover that. How to react when we do not know the answer. Yeah. Right. So Sankit, I'm sorry, I won't be able to use too much of a Hindi because there are a lot of people who do not follow Hindi. So yeah, so I'll be sharing the recording. So those who did not follow, so Harsh, if you did not follow the nod, you can also check the recording, but the nod is more about just nodding your head. That's the nod, right? So don't have too many aggressive nods, constant nod that shows you are nervous. Okay, so it has to be a soft nod, letting the other person know that you are following them. Okay, all right. So perfect. So okay. So of course, Shubhang, that is very natural that you become nervous when you look into their eyes. It happens. And that's the reason we are unable to have eye contact. So what I would recommend is start talking to a lot of new people, strangers. The reason why we are not able to look into the eyes of people is because something is going on here. The reason with which you are actually nervous. Okay, so we have to kind of remember this. That is, you have to work here so that you can overcome your nervousness in your eye contact. Okay, now let's quickly go to the basics. So this was more about the body language. Now going to the basics of communication, let us understand why do we communicate effectively. So these are all the reasons why communicating effectively is important. All of these we understand, right? That, we want to gain respect from others. We don't want people to look down upon us. We want to build trust, influence, and get the work done. All of these things. But the most important element that I would want to stress here is to be able to build a good rapport. So any conversation that you have with anyone, just keep that in mind, that the way I am talking to others, is that going to maintain a good, healthy rapport, or is that going to deteriorate my relation with him or her. So if I am going to spoil my relationship, either I'm too aggressive, my rapport will be actually affected negatively. If I am too submissive, the person will not be able to connect with me. I'm too introvert to reserved, he will not be able to, connect with me. And then again, I will not be able to build a good rapport. So one of the important parameters is, are you able to build a good rapport with the person or not by the end of your conversation? Second basic important element is, what do we communicate? So do we only communicate what we speak? No. We communicate what we speak, and we also communicate our emotions while we are speaking or not speaking. So while we went through all the pictures, hear anyone speak, you did not watch or listen to any of the videos. You just saw them in the pictures, but you were still able to understand what was going on in their minds. So what do we communicate? We communicate both the things. One, what we speak, and two, what we do not speak. That is, even our emotions, our thoughts, which may or may not be perceived rightly. And this is very, very important to remember. So if my body language is negative, you will be perceived negatively, and the story that people create is totally up to them. Totally up to them. But people's choice. You already saw the way people perceive. Everyone does not think just the same way. They don't perceive people to behave in the way you think you want to be perceived as, right? So that's about what we communicate, both the things. Now, the third important point you need to remember, and this is a question. Tell me, when do we not communicate? What do you think? When do we not communicate with people? When do we not communicate? Are there instances when you have not communicated with people? Right? Low confidence, not having the knowledge of the topic, when we are reserved or introvert, absolutely. Yeah, when we are not willing to communicate is not an answer. Why are you not willing to communicate? What is it? Hesitation. Okay. All right. Lack of confidence. Right. When someone speaks, okay, so you do not want to disturb or interrupt them. Absolutely. All right. When you're confused, you're scared, you're sad. Okay. Hesitation. Absolutely. Right. So when you're frustrated. So there are so many instances that stops us from communicating. So we do not want to be perceived negatively. So say, for example, low on confidence, I don't communicate. Why? Because I'm worried about how will I be perceived as. What will people think about me? What if they think I am not, or I am dumb, or I don't know? So it will spoil my story, my perception of my emotion, right?
Madam,
We
your
either
voice is
hesitate, we try to we either hesitate or we try to avoid talking. Certain times people are too angry, too short-tempered, too frustrated with us. We tend to not communicate that time as well. So the point is, when we do not communicate, it is basically a conscious choice that we make to not communicate. It just doesn't happen like that. Okay, I by mistakenly did not communicate. It doesn't happen that way, right? So most of the times, it is a conscious choice that we make, right? Now, the point
Madam,
is,
your voice is breaking.
what happens
voice is breaking.
happens.
Not clear voice, ma'am.
So I would
Ma'am,
suggest,
voice is breaking a lot.
I would suggest, okay. So I would suggest if you could all switch off our videos. I
कुछ समझ नहीं.
On my screen,
That-
your eye is looking close due to buffering.
Okay. Let me check. Okay, 1 second. So let's hope it's a little better now. Okay. So what happens when we do not communicate? So I would suggest reflect back on the situations wherein you actually did not communicate with people. My question to you is, what was the result? Was it a positive result or a negative result at the end of not communicating? Was that a positive result or a negative result when you decided to not communicate? Did you get a positive result or a negative result? It could be at any situation, okay? It could be a situation at the personal life, with friends, with family, with colleagues, anyone, or in the classroom, maybe while you are studying, right? Now, you will see that most of us have answered negative. Right? So, while you do not communicate what is here, and you, for whatsoever reasons you have decided to not communicate, the impact in your life is always going to be negative. Either you will miss out an opportunity of creating an impression. Probably, you had an idea, but you were a little reluctant to share whether I will really add any value or not. And this is going to happen. Even when you join your workplace, there are 5 people saying some suggestion, making some suggestions, giving their ideas. You will have an idea, but you will hesitate. What if, this is a funny idea? What if I'm not worth it? What if this idea is not so good? What if people laugh at me? And then after some time, somebody else tells the same idea and people applaud. And what do you feel? Oh my God, I had just the same idea. And then I go ahead and tell others, you know what? I had this idea actually, but he took away the credit. Now, lamenting after the milk is spilled is no point. So you may miss out on ample number of opportunities, either to get the credit for the suggestion or the idea, or being able to clarify a doubt. Sometimes you have a doubt and you do not ask a question. And then you keep that question with you. When you keep that question with you, that question stays. Most of the times you are thinking about whether I am following him or not, right? So the point is, speak up. Speak up. Don't have too many grudges. Don't have too many confusions. And don't keep on filtering yourself every moment. Of course, filtration is important, but not all the time. For speaking, important, but because of that, never speaking, not right. Okay. So be prepared. Be prepared of your content before going and meeting people, before appearing for an interview. Do your homework, and we're going to learn a lot in the upcoming sessions. But speaking up is important. Now, let's move on. So I'm going to share with you the screen. Okay. Now look at this picture. Now, one of you, I'm going to text in the chat about a destination. Okay. Now, who that person is going to be, that's going to be very random because I don't know any one of you. So this person is going to guide us. Okay. This person is our destination. Okay. But the person will not say the name of that destination. Okay, so he cannot say that, okay, you have to reach the school on the left corner. You cannot say that, okay, if that's the destination, and I'm not going to give that destination at all. So you cannot say that. So the person has to can begin from anywhere, and he has to instruct people and guide to be able to reach there. Okay, now nobody will unmute themselves. Nobody will unmute themselves. Okay, only the person whom I suggest, whom I share. I'm going to, I don't know who that person is going to be, but okay, so I am randomly select. Let me decide the destination. Okay. All right. So I have texted one of you. Okay. And that person give the message. Let's call out the person's name because there's so many of you. So Ishwar.
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
ESWAR. Ishwar.
Can you hear me?
Ishwar, are you there?
Yeah.
You're there. Yeah, we
So,
can.
okay.
So you have to direct. We can hear you, Ishwar. So
Your voice is breaking, ma'am. Hello? Hello, ma'am. Are you there?
मैम शायद चलेगी क्लास से, शायद निकल चुकी है शायद।
नेटवर्क इशू था, ऑटोमेटिक।
हाँ, कुछ ज्यादा ही नेटवर्क इशू चल रहा है इनका।
ये पोर्टल का है, ज्योति
पोर्टल का इशू है भाई। अरे
पोर्टल इशू है भाई।
अरे इस मीटिंग रिकॉर्ड हो रही है।
रिकॉर्ड हो रही है भाई, रिकॉर्ड हो रही है।
और तो सही है।
इस मार्केट मत बनाओ इसको।
Guys, is a recording session. Please mute yourself.
Guys, please mute yourself.
Are you there? I got disconnected. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I am going to Ishwar another destination. So Ishwar. Okay, where is Ishwar? Here. So I'm going to share the screen very soon. Give me a moment. There you go. All right. So Ishwar, can you see my screen? And people, are you all able to see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you all get disconnected or was it only me?
You only.
Okay.
You, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So what's the destination here? All right. So Ishwar, I have texted you. And your time starts now. You have a minute. And people follow and text us the moment you reach the destination. Okay. And do not unmute yourself. Begin, Ishwar.
We start from school. We come out of school and walk straight on the main road. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
We start from school and we walk straight on the main road till we find 6th building on the side of the road.
Okay. Done?
Yeah.
All right. So Ishwar has made us reach the destination. So people quickly type in the chat window, where have you reached? Okay. Some of them have reached restaurant, fish shop. Okay. Okay. Purple house. Okay. Okay. Lovely. Very nice. Interesting. Pink building. Okay. Okay. So Ishwar. Ishwar, some of them have even reached bank. Right. So Ishwar ji, tell us, what was the right destination?
Pink house.
Was the pink house?
Yeah.
Pink house, the pink or purple house. Okay. And let us see how many of them actually reached. 1, 2, 3. And Ishwar, you said the 6th building, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it the 6th building? Count. Is it the 6th building? Ishwar?
Yeah, it is the 6th building.
Yes, ma'am. This one is 6th building.
It is the 6th building?
Yeah.
How many of us actually reached the pink house? We began at the
really looks like a building.
we actually began at the school, right?
Yeah.
We began at the school. And then most of us either reached the fish shop, some of them, because the 6th building could be perceived either the first could be the school or the first could be the fruit shop, totally up to people. And some of them reached restaurant, right? Now, why did this happen? I mean, Ishwar, why did this happen? What do you think?
I couldn't probably communicate what the building was.
Okay. What was wrong? I mean, you just said begin at the school, go straight. So what was wrong? Be at the main road. All the instructions were rightly given.
We'll reach to the purple house.
See?
Reach to the purple house.
Some of them did. Some of them did. But most of them could not. Those who could not, why could you not? What do you think? Why most of them reached the flip shop?
Ma'am, Purple House is not a building.
It's not a building. Okay. So we assume that it's not a building, it's a house, right? So because he said building, so there was a difference in the vocab, which we thought is the right way to say it, right? So what does this actually mean and why are we actually doing this? Okay, let's understand. What happens is when Ishwar was about to begin to talk, okay, what did Ishwar first think? Ishwar must have looked at where the location is. And Ishwar must have visualized as to how can I make people reach the destination. My question to you is, when I want to communicate, how do I ensure that people get me right? Do I communicate with what I think is the best way to communicate? Or do I communicate keeping in mind what is the best way people would understand, right? So you have to keep in mind that there are going to be so many barriers in communication and it's not going to be easy for you. Despite of your intention and despite of the best of strategy that you use, it's not necessary that you are perceived and understood right. So coming back to this, for those who were not able to reach the destination, why did we miss the destination is one question that has to be in the back of our mind. What went wrong, right? So some of us would say it is because of the speaker, some of them would say because of the words that he used, some of them would say that I perceived it wrongly, or some of them would say that I didn't understand what he said, right? So as you look at this process, when Ishwar is sharing an information, he's the sender of the message, we being the receiver. Now look at the message. How beautifully do you craft the message and how do you convey the message is very important. Now imagine that there is a ball. Okay, Ishwar has a ball in his hand and he's throwing that ball towards you. Now, if the distance between both of you is very less, will you be able to catch the ball? If you are able to see Ishwar and the distance between the two is less, you will be able to catch the ball. More the distance, more the difference in the heights of the two of you. What if Ishwar is like too tall and we do not have that much height? So when Ishwar is throwing the ball, if Ishwar throws the ball from too much of a height, are there chances that we miss on catching the ball? Right? So if we are too tall and Ishwar is too short, if he throws it from a very low side, difficulty for us to catch the ball. So why am I saying this? Depending on the receiver and the receptivity of the receiver, the level of understanding of the receiver, the speaker has to speak. And that's the reason you have to keep in mind that before you frame your message, you must understand whom are you going to talk to, right? And what is the genre of the audience? What kind of audience they are? This will help you to be more effective. Now, the point is that that's not the only problem. What if between you and Ishwar, there was a very tall wall wherein you were not able to see Ishwar? Now, the moment Ishwar throws a ball, we would actually see what strategy he's using, how he's throwing the ball, and that's how we'll go and catch the ball. But if we are not able to see Ishwar at all, then probably we'll definitely miss the ball. Barrier in our communication, right? It acts as a barrier in our communication. So we need to remember that to be an effective communicator, one, we need to learn how to listen effectively. We need to be understood by the others, and that's how we need to speak. We don't have to just speak amazingly, but we have to speak a language which we are able to help others understand well. We are understood by them rightly. And thirdly, we need to give effective feedback. Now, this is the last thing that we are going to work on today. Okay. Now look at this picture carefully. What do you see in this picture? Quickly tell me, what do you see in this picture?
Some bricks are there and they are ready to collapse.
Okay.
Iron inside wall.
You see
Hello, man. Your voice is breaking. Could you please fix it?
Bricks are not properly cemented.
Bricks wall without mortar.
So
Bricks are
not okay. Now I'm going to give you a hint. Okay, some people have already identified and some of us are going to now. There is a cigar in the brick. In between the brick, there is a cigar in between the bricks. I want you to look for the cigar. There is one long cigar with its corner burnt. Can you find the cigar? Can you find the cigar?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Look for it for those who
Yes,
can't.
ma'am.
But for those who are not able to, look for the cigar. Where is the cigar? The wall is smoking. Is it, Kundan? Okay. So now, right. Now people are able to find. Now.
Ma'am, but that looks like a rod.
That looked like a rod. Now look at this. Now look at this. For those who were not able to still find, can you now find the cigar? Can you now find a cigar? Yes. So those who are not able to, yeah.
Eventually it will fall.
You are now able to. So now for all of us, now we are almost all of us able to see the cigar. Now, I want you to go back to this picture and not see the cigar. So earlier, we were not able to see the cigar. I want you to still not see the cigar.
I'm unable to see cigar.
Are you not cigar? Can you avoid seeing the cigar?
After knowing, I am unable to see the cigar.
Right? Absolutely, Shubham. So the point is, once you find the cigar, okay, once you find the cigar, it's difficult to not see the cigar. Difficult. And that's exactly how our perceptions are built. And these kinds of perceptions act as barriers in our communication. And these barriers stop us from effectively communicating with people. So, while we talk about these barriers, we need to remember that be it fear, lack of attention, sharing too much of information which was not needed, the language that we use, how people perceive us, or our listening skills, all of these things play an important role in actually creating barriers. And that's the reason we do not communicate effectively with people. It's the fear which leads to low confidence. It's the fear. And to be able to overcome this fear, most important point is you need to have a belief in yourself. If you do not believe in yourself, you will never take action. Never. So, anytime that you feel low, you must learn how to believe in yourself. That what happens, I'm going to do it. To be able to create the right belief, all you need to do is create a right story here. If I'm doing something and I feel low in confidence, why does that happen? Is because I'm constantly telling myself something negative about the result. Oh, something will go wrong then. What if people laugh at me then? So the moment I create negative stories, my belief will be shattered. The moment I create a positive story, I will have the belief in myself, and that will lead to confidence. So recreate your stories and think about something positive that will happen. And in the worst of cases, what's the worst that will happen? At least I will give it a try so that I don't have to repent later. So people, that is one thing that will give you confidence, that is begin with a belief, take action, and that will lead to growth. So that is definitely going to this elephant story. So imagine that an elephant who gives up on trying, despite of him being so capable, he will not actually go ahead and pull up his leg, right? So yeah, totally, Girish. See, it is definitely easy to say and very difficult to try. I agree, implementation is very difficult. But before we leave, I'm going to share with you a very interesting video, and I'm sure that it will help you boost your confidence. Okay. The moment you tell yourself it is very difficult to implement, if every person on this earth, right from the Tatas and the Birlas and the Murthis, if everyone would have thought it is difficult to build such a huge empire, how am I going to do it? It's not possible. It's just an idea, right? Nothing would have ever happened. So you have to give it a try. You have to work hard. Trust me, you have to work hard. But most importantly, you have to try, right? So the best way to do that is remember this placebo effect. Sometimes, when we were young and, we would fall off, and the mother would just come and brush on our hands and say, oh, everything is fine. See, you'll be fine now. Immediately the pain is gone. There are so many experiments that have shown that just by believing that, I am really going to fall sick, people fall sick. There was this, incident that happened. I read it somewhere about, the story of the snake. You might have heard the story of the snake, wherein this person who was going to be hanged to death was told that, we have decided to change your death style. We have decided to leave a poisonous snake in your cell and kill you. The next morning, 4 a.m., a snake was left in this prisoner's cell. The snake bit that prisoner and he died. Now, the twist in the story is that snake was non-poisonous. The snake was non-poisonous, but still the prisoner died, right? So how is that possible? Because he thinks that way. So the same goes otherwise as well. The moment you tell yourself that this is what will happen, your entire body would start believing in it. And it works that way. So you have to give that placebo effect to you. And there are so many stories on that. There's one more story of knee replacement hospital, wherein people were not, but they had a severe knee pain because they were not told that they were given painkillers via bottles. So the IV that they were given. So the point is, it's more about what is here that builds in or breaks your confidence, and you have to remember this. That is, belief in yourself is very important. So believe in yourself and communicate with these 4 C's. 1, confidence. 2, clarity. Don't confuse people with a lot of information. First, be clear yourself. Be clear yourself. And then think about what you want to speak. The 5 W's and H, right? What, why, when, where, and how. You must know what you want to speak and then speak. So even if you're taking a moment to think before you answer, it's okay. But don't just answer anything. So have clarity so that the other person follows what you want to say. Next, not only clarity, but conviction. Conviction meaning what you're saying, you should believe. If the person is asking you, do you think you will be able to do this job role well? Internally, you think you just can't. But then you are saying, yeah, I think I will very well. Now, if you don't believe, it will not show up. So whatever you are saying, believe in it. When a person is selling something to you, if he doesn't believe in what he's selling, you will never buy it from him. If you ask him, will this work? Whatsoever that you are selling, will this work? And then he's saying, yeah, I think it should. You will never buy because you will not have confidence in him because he doesn't have confidence in himself. So you have to have belief in yourself. And the last and the most important 4th C is connect. Connect. Connect with your listener, specifically emotional connect. So do not have a disconnect. He is also a human being. You are also a human being. We all are made up and built up with emotions. He's not an alien and he doesn't have a gun to shoot you. So just be comfortable and try to connect with him as you would with anyone else, just as anyone else, right? So these 4 C's that you have to remember while you communicate. And the last part is about your voice, okay? What do I mean by voice here? Your voice modulation is very important. If you have too much of a monotonous voice, same pitch, you constantly speak in the same pitch. Like we listen to All India Radio and we listen to private radio stations, we know how they are different. One radio station would go at a flat voice and the other radio jockey would be having so many highs and lows that you like to listen to them. Now, I don't mean that you have to start using this, hello, good afternoon, sir. You don't have to do that. But you don't have to be too boring and monotonous as well. So there are 4 P's. 1, pitch. Pitch is the voice, volume. Okay. So there could be a low pitch, medium pitch, high pitch. So don't prefer to the low pitch. Use the medium pitch. Okay. So that you are audible enough. Audible enough. Okay. Second is space. Don't be too fast. So all your words, yes, sir, yes, sir. So what I was saying is that this happened and that happened. And when you keep talking too fast, people lose the track. So don't club 2 words. Okay. And don't keep the pace too slow also. It is very boring. So if I go too slow, so it's important that, communication. In communication, listening is important. If I go too slow, in next 5 minutes, you will lose your track and you will be distracted. You won't follow. So don't be too fast, don't be too slow. Audio record yourself and see. We are the best critics. You can evaluate yourself. You don't need anyone else. Also, you can share it with your friends and trustworthy people, family members, and check with them as to what do you think about my pace. Get feedback. Third is pause. Take a pause when you are switching your topic. Don't just speak. Take a pause. Right, sir. So, to share with you an example, pause, and then say your example. Instead of, sir, to share with you an example, it was, last month when I had gone there and this happened and that happened. So people don't know when you began, right? So before you actually begin, take a small pause. It creates a lot of suspense and interest and attention when you take pauses while you are switching over topics or you're going to tell something very important, right? It draws attention. And the last is power. So what do I mean by power? Power meaning enthusiasm. So if you're too low, hello, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. How was your weekend? Now, if you keep doing this, nobody wants to talk to you. Okay. So learn to be happy, boss. Life is good with so many things. So there's always in everyone's life, there's a lot more to be happy about, be grateful about. So look at the brighter things in life. There are a lot of people who don't even have what you have, right? So be grateful. You're alive post-COVID. Be grateful. You have your body in working condition. Be grateful, right? And you have an opportunity to be appearing for an interview. Be grateful, right? So be happy. If you're happy, you have that power, you have that enthusiasm. Clear, everyone? Yes. So now here's your assignment, people. And post the assignment, I'm going to share with you an interesting video, especially to the one gentleman who said that, ma'am, implementation is a challenge. So we are going to see this video before we conclude. I've taken 10 more minutes. So people, quickly take a screenshot of your assignment or quickly click with your mobile phones. Okay. Yeah. So if you make a lot of sounds, so till the time people are clicking the assignments. All right. So, all right. Be conscious. All right. Nantha Gopal. Okay. I don't know if I pronounced it right. So basically, while you are talking to people and when you're thinking, mute yourself, in the sense internally with your body language. Show the facial expression that you're thinking, but you don't have to show your voice. If you're just conscious, If you're just conscious that you should not be that, trust me, you will, of saying two things. One, actually, and one, always. So I would, whenever I had to switch over to a statement and I had to think about what to say next, I would say, and then I would say something. And then again, take a pause, that's how it is. And actually, so constantly I would say that. But once when I heard my recording in one of the sessions, I realized that, oh my God, this is so many times I have used these two words. And then it gradually disappeared, so just being aware helps, right? So the assignment, Yash, I'll come to you. So the assignment, so the first thing is talk to a person you haven't spoken to, okay? You have to go and speak to people, okay, whom you've not spoken to. Make this as a rule. Go and meet people. Go and meet people, talk to them. So that is the first thing you have to do. Secondly, observe that when you are talking to people, do you interrupt them too often? They've not even completed their statement and you want to say something. So I want you to actually observe in your conversation, how many times did you interrupt? Okay. Third, please compliment at least one person and you will see the magic. Okay. Why compliment people? Nobody compliments me. Why should I go and compliment people? But do that. And you will see why complimenting is important. Okay. And fourth one, new words, at least 3 new words. Make a record of 3 words and a sentence using those 3 words. So you have ample number of days. So the next session is going to be on 21st. If you read on the screen, I've mentioned it. So you have to kind of submit. You can submit your answers by 20 August. Ensure that you complete the assignment by 20 August. And our session is going to be on 21st August. So we are going to have alternate Sundays. So the coming Sunday, we'll not be having a session, but a Sunday followed to that. That is 21st of August, we're going to have our session, right? All right. So what is Yash asking?
Ma'am, share this PDF with us. Ma'am, share this PDF.
I will share that for sure. All right. Okay. So whom should we submit the assignment? Where can we submit? Whom should we talk to? So first I'm going to answer, Arin, the first question. You have to talk to anyone you like. Okay. Totally from your network. It could be a phone call. It could be a Zoom call. It could be somebody in your society, but meet people and talk to them. If you have some people in your batch, you just said a hello and a hi. So this time, from now onwards, today onwards, go and meet them personally. Personally in the sense, go and actually talk to them. So even if it is a phone call or maybe a VC, I don't mind, but talk to them. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to quickly browse through the questions. Yeah. So how important body language and vision are? Okay. So does someone looks matter? Does it help if you are good looking? Oh my God, Yash. Okay. So Yash, see, being good looking and being presentable are different things. Okay. You have to be presentable. You have to groom yourself so that you look presentable, neat, tidy, clean, not messy, not shabby, with your outfits totally well ironed and completely in the right attire. That is important. How beautiful or how handsome you look, that does not matter. What matters is the smile you carry and the confidence and the right attitude you carry. So even if Aishwarya Rai began her career, she was a super flop in the first few movies. Why? Because she was not able to do her job right. She was not presenting herself in the right character. She looked very nervous and anxious. So despite of being Miss Universe, she still didn't make it right in the first movie, right? So it does not matter how you look. It matters to be presentable, carrying the right attitude with the right level of confidence, right? So that's important. Right. So Pankaj, see, certain times, we do not have the energy. And the reason why we do not have the energy, because something here is not right. Okay, so you must look for reasons how you can be happier. Talk to people, listen to some happy music, right? Or eat healthy food if you have low on a physical energy, right? So important is to feel happy to get the energy. So if I am very sad and I'm constantly thinking about, you know, all the problems in my life and how challenging it is, and I don't have that and I don't have this, because nobody has everything that they desire, right? So the moment I start focusing on what I don't have or what I am really unhappy about, do you think that energy would ever show up? It won't, right? So the energy comes from the happiness. Look at children. Why are they so energetic? Because they don't have anything to so much bother about. They're so happy people. Spending time with such people, you know, who are very energetic, who are very positive, will actually help you gain energy. So be around people who don't drain your energy, who give you their energy, and children could be one of them. Even doing one act of kindness, helping out people in need, builds up on your energy. So do some kind work. Okay, so I think so see, right, so Girish, I understand it creates a distraction, and you can talk about all the barriers as to why you cannot talk to people, but the point is, despite of everything, are you able to look beyond your problem and still talk to someone? Okay, still talk to someone. So the moment you will see that, oh, I didn't know it was going to be so easy to talk to him, or whatever stories that I built about him, it's not true. And trust me, this has worked for so many of them. This is out of experience. I'm telling you that all these ifs and buts are just till you try. Okay. So yeah, when the other person is talking, you add that you are making while you are in the discussion, right? So as you said that, okay, you are allowing the other person to speak, and that's why you're not speaking. But there has to be one time when you speak, when you can actually contribute something. And if not, then what are you doing in that conversation? You are just listening, right? So if you agree with the person, if you have some example that you have had, you know, the way he's sharing, you can put that across. Clear? So yeah, so compliment, yeah, so you have to compliment people, right? Thank you very much. Okay. So see, you do not have to submit your PDFs as of now. You can just keep it with you. Okay, so I want you to keep a note. I will ask anybody to, you know, share it during the discussion last time. Okay, it is okay to, yeah, it is okay to talk to people online. Okay, it is absolutely okay to talk to people online. All right, so yeah, so नहीं, मुझे कोई स्क्रिप्ट बना के नहीं भेजना, बिल्कुल. I do not want any scripts. Okay, I want so that you realize that communication looks so fearful. It looks so fearful, but actually it is not. It is just in the mind that we keep wondering whether this will work or not, but it's not true always. It's not true always. Okay, so I'm going to quickly share with you an interesting video. Are you all able to see my screen? Are you all able to see my screen? No.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
it's visible.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. I'm going to show you an interesting video, and we are going to conclude with that. Are you all able to see my screen, people? Yes. I'm
Yes,
assuming that you
Yes,
are.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So look at this. Okay. Now, what do you think will happen next? What do you think will happen next? So this long big gate out here, okay, is there to stop the baby from falling off. It's there to safeguard the baby, right? What do you think will happen next? Quickly tell me, what do you think will happen next?
He
He'll
may
fall
fall,
down.
or he
He
can
may
climb the
fall down.
door.
He will cross the gate, or he may fall
He
down.
will
or
cross
he'll
the gate or maybe fall down.
May fall or he
मार खाएगा
fall
बेचारा.
down.
Super.
Someone might
So
observing and they can hold
you
the
see,
baby.
there are happened with us that I know we are seeing ourselves. He'll fly. Wow. What an imagination, no? All right. So now let's see what happens. Okay.
I'll go and catch the baby.
Next Spider-Man.
And try that if you can. Let's see.
He will cross the gate.
Let's see what happens. Right. So not many of us knew that he would be able to cross the gate, right? But the point is, did he do this for the first time? Was he doing it for the first time? He began and he crossed, and there he was.
6 to 4 minutes.
Right. So what if he would have thought that, oh my
Very
God,
naughty boy.
it's such a- what if I fall? What if I get a brain hemorrhage? What if I break my bones? Right? He could have thought all that. But do you think he would have thought it? He would have not, right?
Oh, he would
So if he would have thought that I will fall off, I'll go unconscious, my mom will hit me and something will happen to me, he would have never even taken the first step. And it is completely possible that the moment he tried it for the first time, he fell. But he must have done something because of which he was able to cross the gate. And what was that something? One, he did not look at the height of the gate. He did not look at what wrong would happen to him, but he focused on where he wanted to reach. Okay. And you have to focus on your end result. You need to focus on your goals instead of the problems and the challenges. Look at the ways as to how you can overcome, number one. And number two, practice, try. Even if you do not get through, keep trying. And that is the only way to overcome your fear, and that is the only way to build on your confidence. So the first time you try something, talking to people or appearing for people, you are not going to be a super success person at the first shot, right? But that's not the end of the life. You have to keep trying. And with every try, you will get better. But with no trials, you will definitely not get better. So that probability of success is up to you. And that choice of taking action with that belief is up to you. And recalling that BAG, the bag principle, that is belief leads to action. The child had a belief that he will be able to do it, led to action, and that led to the growth. That is his result achieved, right? So that's all for the day, and we have crossed a lot of our time. So I hope that this entire session has been helpful to you. It helps you build on your confidence, and the assignment that I have shared with all of you, I would suggest you please practice it. You must do it. When you do it, you will realize how important it is, right? So that's all for the day. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
PDF भेज दीजिए, PDF.
Thank you, ma'am.
So much,
It's a
ma'am.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Good session, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, how to submit assignment?
Right now, I'll get with you. You will be informed. You will be informed by the team.
How can you?
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am.
Happy Sunday, ma'am.
Thank you. Same
How
to
can
you.
you do the assignment?
Assignment you have to keep,
madam.
be informed in your group.
Happy friendship day, ma'am.
You will be informed. Happy Friendship Day to all of you. Ah, that's right.
Thank you, ma'am.
And happy
Ma'am, where to send you a PDF of this?
So keep the PDFs with you, And you will be informed by the team as to how it is to be submitted. Okay, an Excel sheet will be created and you will be shared.
Okay.
Ma'am, your LinkedIn profile.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I am on LinkedIn. You can look for me as Coach Nisha Anand. You'll find me there. I'm just typing in the chat window, LinkedIn, Coach Anand. Nisha Anand. Training.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I've texted in the chat window. You'll find me on LinkedIn at Coach Nisha Anand.
Ma'am, you are the most 15 inspiring entrepreneur.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure connecting with all of you. Share my
Can I
profile.
drop?
I'll share my profile link.
Bye.
If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, you are welcome.
Are you from Surat?
LinkedIn.
Hello.
So here's my LinkedIn link. You can connect me there. Yeah. So I keep posting a lot of content. If you feel like referring to it, you're welcome. You can follow me. All
Ma'am, I
right.
sent
Thank
a
you so
follow
much.
request.
Nice session. Entertaining,
I'm
motivating.
sure we will use.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I
Yeah, I
sent
am
follow
on
request to
Insta
you.
by BCM Training Academy. Sure.
Accept the request, ma'am.
Conversation. Thank you very much, everyone, and wish you a great Sunday and happy Friendship Day. Bye-bye, and good luck for your assignment. Thank you.
Accept
you, ma'am.
our
Thank you,
request
ma'am.
in LinkedIn.